Hi, and welcome to Cindy Certified Recipes. We've all been there planning that meal, and normally the entree is pretty straightforward, but all the sides you can pick from, it just makes your head spin, right? Well, in comes the humble potato to save the day. Now today, we're gonna be making roasted, crispy garlic herb potatoes, and they'll go with any meal. And they're so fantastic, you can make them as a snack or even an appetizer and dip them in whatever you want to dip them in. So we're gonna get right into this because I've already pre-chopped everything to expedite our perfect potatoes. And so here we have, this is about 4 cloves of garlic that I've minced pretty fine. And then here's a tablespoon of rosemary that I also minced pretty fine. And we need 5 tablespoons of fat. And when I make these, I prefer bacon fat. And so I made some beautiful BLTs yesterday, and I saved the bacon fat, and that's what I'm gonna be using and what I prefer to use for these potatoes. But you can also use olive oil, duck fat, goose fat, any of those will work, but I'm telling you this is the best. And this is just a handful of parsley that we're gonna dress the potatoes with after they're roasted. And then I've already pre-cut the potatoes and put them in some water, and you want them a bit on the large side. Because once you put them in that baking soda and they break down a little bit in the boiling and roughing them up, they'll get smaller. So always cut them on the large side. All right. We're gonna take all these ingredients over to the stove and get this potato party going. We have our pan nice and warm. This is just a medium-sized frying pan. And we're gonna be putting all of our nice bacon grease in there. And if you don't have enough bacon grease, you can always add a little bit of olive oil. I get every little smidge. And then our garlic that we minced earlier. And also the rosemary. And you just want to cook that garlic until it starts to just barely turn brown. So you want to do this on a fairly low heat. And we're infusing that fat with all these really nice flavors. Keep moving them around so they all get equal opportunity here. I can see them start to get lightly golden. Want them just a little more brown than that. This should take about 5 to 7 minutes. That is about there, because they're going to continue to brown a little bit when I take them off the heat. So I'm going to move this now over to there, and we'll get on to the next part of boiling our potatoes. We're going to move our potatoes on over to that burner, put it on high, and into that water we're going to add a couple tablespoons of salt. And this is 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 2 bay leaves. And once that comes to a boil, it's going to be about 7 to 10 minutes once it starts boiling, because we want them to be soft enough for a knife to go in, but with a little resistance. So we'll be right back. So our potatoes here have come up to a nice boil, and now we're just gonna let them go here a couple minutes till they get to that nice al dente stage I was telling you about. And so just a few minutes more and we'll be on to draining those. Our potatoes are done, and we're gonna drain them off over here at the sink. we're going to leave them there to dry a little bit in the steam, and then we'll move on from there. Our potatoes are dried and sitting here in their colander, and you still want to deal with them when they're still kind of warm. And so this is what they're going to look like, and just going to pour them into the bowl here and get rid of our bay leaf. And you can see this is that mashed potato stuff. That's why you put the baking soda in the water, because you want that like mashed potato stuff to form. And so I could toss these and make a real huge mess, or I prefer just to use the spoon here. And I still made a mess. And so what you're doing here is you're kind of, beating them up and getting all that mashed potato-y stuff along the edges, because that's what's going to make your crispy potato, is all that mashed potato stuff on there. So that's what you're looking for, is that, like, all covered in mashed potatoes. All right, and while they're still warm, we're going to take that mixture we made earlier, and you want to strain it because you want to reserve all those bits. I get my spatula here. All that nice infused oil, bacon grease. And when these are cooked, we can sprinkle all that back on top for extra crispiness. These are like really crispy, nice pieces of garlic. It's totally delicious. Okay, set those aside. And now you're gonna mix all that infused oil into your potatoes while they're warm so they absorb it more. And then while we're doing that, we're gonna give it some pepper and some salt. Be generous with that, because whenever you're working with potatoes, it always takes like extra seasoning to permeate them. So those are looking really good. So what we're gonna do next is pour those onto our baking sheet. And what you want to do here is make them as separate as possible. They need their own space. Now these are going to go in a preheated 450-degree oven for 20 minutes undisturbed. You don't want to be moving them around. Okay, they got pretty much their own space there. And so after those 20 minutes, we're going to go look at them and flip each and every one, and then they're going to go back in the oven for another 30 minutes to 40 minutes, depending on your oven, but you want them super crispy. So into the oven they go. Our beautiful brown potatoes are out of the oven, all nice and crispy. Put them in the bowl, because I'm going to toss them with just a little bit of parsley. Like so. And then we're going to pour those into your serving bowl. Maybe just a little more parsley. And then remember those herbs that we infused the oil with? Well, it's your option, but I'm telling you, these things are awesome. It's little fried garlic. Can you hear that crunch? They're so good. So we're just gonna sprinkle that on there. Butter as little as you want, or none at all. But I'm telling you, if you don't put them on, you're missing out. And there you have crispy, like crispy, gorgeous potatoes. Crispy on the outside, beautiful on the inside. I'm gonna take a little bite so you can hear it. You hear that? Crunch. And a beautiful creamy inside. I'm telling you, you won't want to make roasted potatoes any other way. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share this with your friends and family, and also hit that like. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe. And we'll see you next time on Cindy Certified Recipes. Remember, don't think, just go with potatoes. And as always, if it's time tested, top-notch ingredients, and the talk of the table, it's Cindy Certified.